Hi there. Thank you for tuning into the Oracle Coherence YouTube channel. My name is Craig Blitz. I'm the Director of Product Management for Oracle Coherence. Today I'd like to talk to you about the latest release of Oracle Coherence, that is Oracle Coherence 12c, the #1 in-memory data grid solution across conventional and cloud environments. What I'll do is I'll start by giving a whirlwind tour of some of the motivation behind Coherence, and then talking a little bit about the key features. If you want more in-depth knowledge about what these key features are, please visit the other videos available on the same Oracle Coherence channel. So, what are some of the things that we're seeing in the industry that continues to drive in-memory data grid growth? Well, most notably, there's an acceleration in growth of data across all industries, whether it's driven by big data or fast data, driven by data from devices, what we call the Internet of Things, and driven by mobile apps and by social apps that are always on, that are always connected. And customers, of course, have their own expectations, and customers are demanding more and more of a real-time experience in their interactions with these social apps or with your websites. So application infrastructure is being challenged in new ways. It's being challenged to manage all of this data growth and support growth in your business as a whole. At the same time, all of this data is stressing your shared services. And by shared services, I mean mainframes, databases, uh, web services, SOA services, and partner services. Wherever it is you go to manage or retrieve information, all of these shared services are being stressed. And so you're looking for ways to offload these shared services and also to protect them in the case of uh, outage. And finally, you're also looking for an application infrastructure that supports delivery of information in real time. So Oracle Coherence 12c helps you address many of these problems, and I'd like to talk about some of the bigger features that we're introducing with 12c and talk about the motivation behind those features. So we've broken down Coherence 12c into three major things, or themes rather. The first theme I'd like to talk about is delivering next generation applications with the mission critical cloud platform. And the first feature that I'd like to talk about there is something that we call Coherence Live Events. Now, Coherence Live Events is meant to deal with the increasing velocity of data that hits your application infrastructure. Coherence provides scalable processing on the data grid that's also very highly available. And what we're doing in 12c is providing Coherence Live Events infrastructure that helps simplify the development of event-driven applications and in general provides your application infrastructure with a way to provide real-time customer experiences. And just to reiterate, I encourage you all to go to the Oracle Coherence video channel and watch the in-depth presentations we give on all of these features. The second thing I'd like to talk about is our Exalogic Elastic Cloud. Exalogic is an engineered system purpose-built for Oracle middleware, for Fusion middleware. And in the Coherence case, what it does is help you drive down response times very low through a native InfiniBand integration. That is, we take advantage of InfiniBand at the lowest possible level to drive down response times and to make it easier for you to separate out your application tier and your data tier so that information can be scaled across the in-memory data grid without any suffering of response times. The second thing I would like to talk about are enhanced deployment options for high availability. Of course, since customers are demanding more of a real-time experience, any outages will impact that customer experience. And what we're doing in Coherence 12c is providing much more flexible ways of keeping your data current and protecting you against any kind of outages within your infrastructure. So the first feature that's pretty unique to Coherence is something that we call GoldenGate HotCache. And what GoldenGate HotCache is designed to do is to keep your cache in sync with underlying databases. So in a scenario that someone changes the database or some application changes the database, this solves the problem for you of how do you get those changes reflected in real time into your cache tier, into the cache in your Coherence in-memory data grid in real time. And what HotCache allows you to do is deliver those database updates in real time with no programming. The second feature that we've added to improve the availability of data is we've given you a broader range of availability options. So for a decade now, Coherence has had features that guarantee that you can survive things such as node loss or machine loss. What we're doing in 12c is greatly broadening the flexibility of how you can configure that. So now you can guard against site-safe and rack-safe, or you can configure rather site safety or rack safety so that you protect yourself from the loss of a whole site or the loss of a rack. We also allow you to declare multi-machine loss protection. That is, you can demand backup counts of, let's say, 3, which will protect you from losing 3 machines simultaneously. And then, in addition, we give you the option of backing up either synchronously or asynchronously. So in the case where there's not a single right answer, you can back up asynchronously and still have an answer available to your customers. The third major theme for Coherence 12c is simplifying operations through native cloud management. And there are a few features here that I would like to talk about. The first one is consolidating across the Fusion middleware stack to a common install and patch framework to greatly reduce the complexity through standardized administrative tooling. In addition, to deliver operational simplicity, what we've done is some auto-tuning within Coherence so that we can automatically adapt to spikes in user demand. So for example, on our proxy tier, we now automatically respond to changes in user traffic in either volume or number of users in Coherence by managing the thread pooling dynamically. We've also introduced a major new function called Managed Coherence Servers that harness the WebLogic management framework to provide integrated cluster management and monitoring. What this allows your application developers to do is leverage a very familiar container model in web applications that greatly simplify development and deployment. We've also started pushing more and more projects into our community process so that we can drive, on the one hand, both innovation through our Coherence incubator and Coherence tools. So we drive a lot of emerging patterns there, but also community projects such as Spring, Hibernate, and Splunk, where we leverage the benefits of open source to deliver new functionality, new integration very quickly um, as part of our product. And these are all tied together by Maven, which provides for a very nice developer experience, integrating the coherence together with community projects and the emerging patterns. Okay, so I've talked about what motivated Coherence 12C. I've talked about at a very high level some of the features within Coherence 12C. I've talked about building next generation applications, about enhancing deployment options for high availability, and about how we simplify operations in Coherence 12C. For more information, like I've said before, please go and check out our other YouTube videos on the same Oracle Coherence 12C uh, YouTube channel. So, Coherence 12C is all about your need to scale data as as uh, as time goes by, and with Coherence, you're very well positioned to continue to scale that data, to process things in a very scalable, highly available way, and provide that rich real-time experience to your customers. I'd like to encourage you also to join the Coherence community, to join our LinkedIn and Facebook groups, to follow us on our blog, and to follow us on Twitter. So thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you found this informative.